Right, chaps, we haven't been doing any work on the car for months and months. The simple thing to let you know, rest that on there. When lockdown ended, obviously we all went back to work. My business had pretty much collapsed. I'm self-employed and I went back to fuck all. Basically the whole business has fell to bits. So I've been spending the last 6 or 7 months rebuilding my business, trying to sort myself out. Anyway, I've now got some bloody time off, so I'm going to do some work on the car. So I've just come to Connor's and opened the garage, and look at this. What the fucking hell. So I'm going to have to spend best part of half an hour moving all of that off it before I can get any work done. So, back on YouTube with fucking crap everywhere. Alright, that didn't take long. I stacked all the stuff there. Okay, now the fun part is I can't remember what goes where. It'll come back. Right, so let's have a shufty. I can connect up the drive shafts. There's one here, the other one's missing, so I'll put the drive shafts on. That thing there is off of the gearbox, so I can put that back on the gearbox. What else have we got? What can we do? It doesn't look like any of the electrics underneath have been reconnected, so I'll get underneath, I'll reconnect starter motor, alternator, power steering connectors. I can put all that back on. Yeah, I think today I'm just going to spend the day lying on my back underneath it and do what I can and start working on the hoses and stuff. So yeah, next step I think is to pull the trolley jack out of my car and then go from there. So I will set this camera back up and then figure it out. I'll find it with the drive shafts over there somewhere, but like I say, we haven't even opened the bloody garage door for, I'm guessing, 7, 8 months, so we'll get there. I can't start reconnecting the loom because obviously the top of the engine's in bits, the inlet manifolds are off. I want to take the rocker covers off and have a look at the rockers, make sure they're all sexy and set properly. And while I've got them off, if I get a chance, I'll give them a little bit of paint, just tidy them up a touch and then put them back, but we shall see. Difficult to see because I can't get the angle, but what I'm doing here, dropping the socket, what I'm doing is I'm just putting a couple of bolts, oh shit, in the drive shaft. So that thing is tight. So what we're going to do is get this drive shaft on, get the other drive shaft on. basically what I'm going to start doing is start rebuilding it from the bottom up. And obviously, as I put bits on, you're restricting access to other things, so just do what you can. Might got a little bit of access, so there's our first bolt in the drive shaft. I'll rotate that 180. Get our next bolt in. There we go. And just wipe off excess grease that we've had on there to stop everything rusting. And go from there. So, as you probably noticed, I'm only using a small ratchet to nip them up, and then once everything's in, I'll swap over to the big torque wrench. Oh shit, and get all the joints nice and tight. But for now, we just want to get the bolts in and start getting it back together. So, what I'll probably do is I'll find somewhere to put the camera. I'll put this on a time lapse, because realistically all I'm doing is putting some bloody bolts in. Trying to find the washers. That's a bit wrong washer. It's too big. Yeah, having a game of hunt the washer. So, there you go. Connor's back on the drawers, so it's now 12:30 and he's still in bed. But to be fair to him, he was in work last night till about 5, 6 o'clock this morning, so I'll give him another 10-20 minutes and then I'll get him up. And then he can start getting all this fucking stuff away. There's some room in the garage again. You know, we're getting there. The bonus of having access is when you've got your tools you can just reach through. So on the near side, that's 3 out of 4 drive shaft bolts in. And just one more to go, so I'll put this on the time lapse. The drive shafts are on. One here, one there, all sorted. We've got all the stuff up in the attic, and I've got it up on ramps, well not ramps, on axle stands, so we can get underneath. Connor's taken off the rocker covers. We're going to clean these up, check the rockers underneath, the valve tops. It's got new, if I remember rightly, it's got pneumatic lifters, so we're going to check all the clearances on them, and then tidy them up, put it back together, and then I'm going to wriggle underneath and have a look at what's on the bottom, and try and refit the starter motor cables and the alternator cables. Oh, I've also refitted the clutch master slave cylinder, so I've just got to find a little bolt that goes through the banjo bolt and connect that up. Right, we've got the near side rocker cover off, as you can see. Now, not today, because I haven't got me manual with me, or me feeler gauges, because they're in my garage, but what we'll do is we'll turn the engine over by hand. We'll put the feeler gauges underneath here, and you'll check the gap between the cam there and the hydraulic tappet underneath it. So as the engine's spinning, obviously the cam spins round, the tappet pushes on that little round hydraulic lifter there, which pushes down on the valve, which opens and closes the valve inside the engine. So I've got to clean all this off. See where we've got bits of gasket that have snapped, so I'll clean all that off. We'll check all this. It should all be within tolerance because the engine was running lovely, but we're just going to check it anyway. It seems daft to half strip everything and not check it all. So that's one side's off and the other side next. And then obviously you've got to be mega careful that you don't get no shite in there. So yeah, that's going to be a priority now. Get these off, get them clean, get them back on before we get any shite in the top of the engine. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to get on a Tinterweb and get a couple of new gaskets, because obviously the gaskets come out in little tiny bit. There's the gaskets there, look. So the gaskets just snapped to death, but to be expected.